For Marketing Food Online, and tonight I've got a great Q&A session. I've got a handful of new questions on my laptop here, so I'm going to hop right into those and get into you guys' questions right now. Hey guys, it's Damien from Marketing Food Online, and tonight, as I mentioned, I'm going to do a video covering some questions, some Q&A from you guys. I got in over the weekend a handful, quite a few questions. So I love to do these videos because I know there's a lot of other subscribers who can benefit because you guys ask a lot of the questions that are kind of similar, and I can cover a lot of those and get that out to a multitude of you guys instead of just simply answering some of your questions through the feed here on YouTube. So if you see me gazing over to the side here, I'm just checking the questions out, and I'm going to go through them as we go through here. And sorry about that. Okay. And behind me, you have to forgive me, we've got a whole bunch of videos we're shooting. My son has a couple of kids channels on YouTube, and this is also the production room for some of his stuff. So all of that junk behind me there, lights and all those different things and tables, are for his videos and his channels. So let me hop right into it. There was quite a few questions over the weekend. I'm going to start off with one question I actually got from one of my clients that I actually do consulting with. She was the video I did about 3 or 4 videos back about Etsy. She started a chocolate truffle company, and she is on Etsy right now, and she was asking some questions about how to create additional listings or how to drive up more business. She actually sent me an email and was asking, so what is the next step? So once you create a product and once you have it on eBay, Etsy, Amazon, how do you drum up traffic? Like, how do you really get going? Well, there's a lot of different ways, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples that you can use. Some of them cost money, and some of them are absolutely cheap, and some of them are absolutely free, but some of them are really inexpensive. So I'm going to start off with the ones that you can pay for. So as you may or may not know, you can actually run ads with your products from an Etsy store on Facebook. Now, the first thing I would recommend you do is once you establish a platform that you're selling on, if you have a store open on Etsy, let's just start that as an example, okay? And you have your products on Etsy, you need to have a social media presence of some kind. I highly recommend you be on all of them, but if you're not familiar with the platforms and it takes time to get familiar with them and then start one, that's fine, but at least get on like a Facebook and also maybe get on like Instagram. You need to create an account that's not a personal account. It has to be a business one because you want to promote you don't want to intertwine the two. If you're vacationing with your friends and you're posting pictures of your friend and then you're trying to sell chocolates, that's probably not going to work. Okay, I would highly recommend you not do that. So if you're going to create a business page on these platforms, make sure you do that for your product, okay? The reason being is that let's say you go on Facebook and you create a page that's dedicated to your truffle company, okay? So from there, once you create your listings on Etsy, you can get the URL. Now that's, of course, URL is found in the search box. When you click on the product, you want to take that URL and you want to link that over to Facebook. You want to put that on your Facebook page, okay? And then what you want to do is you can begin to run ads. You can actually run very inexpensive ads, and you can be very concise and precise to figure out exactly who your demographic is, who your customer is, so that your ad for your truffles or for your chocolates, as an example, can appear in front of those customers who are interested in that type of product. So that's something you would definitely want to keep in mind. That is literally pennies per click. In some cases, there's a lot of variations in it and how much it'll cost. But from the ads that I run for our candy business, it's literally a few pennies a click. And the products that we're selling is anywhere between $20 to $30 per order. So to pay, a few pennies to get a $30 order out is definitely worth it. The return on your investment is phenomenal. Now, of course, this is just an example. It could fluctuate. It could be higher. It could be lower. But definitely you want to start getting your products on social media. And plus, you want to create some content on those social media platforms, on those pages for your product. Now, how would you create content for a candy or a snack or a food product? You could create, if you have a health food or a snack item, you could create content about by eating the snacks and the health foods that you're creating, you can actually have some health benefits from that. Or if you're selling seasoned nuts, let's say, you can do articles about the health benefits of nuts. but fill up your Facebook page with content other than just simply linking products onto the page over and over and over. You want to kind of have some other information that would steer customers into purchasing your product. Now, everything doesn't have to necessarily be health food. A lot of the products that we sell are like chocolate pretzels and chocolate Oreos. So what I've done is I go to Facebook and I target people who just like chocolate, right? And people who like cookies, baked goods, things of that sort. And I can actually send out those Facebook ads directly to those potential customers because that's the type of stuff they like. So that's the way you got to kind of think about it, is who exactly is your customer? Know your customer as well as you possibly can. And if you're just starting, then you should Google it. Google is just a great resource finder, period. So if you're looking to find out who likes truffles or who likes chocolate or who likes health foods, Google it, find out, and then you can go to Facebook and find those types of people, okay? So this is just one really quick example of what you could do to pay for advertising or promoting a product and getting traffic to your Etsy or eBay store, okay? Now, there is another way that you could do it, and it's absolutely free. It does take a little bit of time, and you need to do a little keyword search, and you need to throw out a lot of hashtags. By the way, hashtags are a phenomenal way to get people to recognize your product or your service, and that can go on and applies to any social media platform. I'll give you an example. So on Facebook, I posted some products that were chocolate-covered pretzels, okay? Now, I went to Google Keyword Tool Planner, and I found out a lot of variations for chocolate pretzels, chocolate-covered pretzels, pretzels covered in chocolate, and so on and so on. So I found out which keywords and long-tail keyword phrases that worked really well for what I did. So I threw hashtags in front of those, created a listing, or not a listing, but a posting on Facebook, as well as Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest even, and a handful of other social media sites. And within probably about 2 or 3 days, we started to get orders for that specific product. And it was orders that were above and beyond kind of our norm. So I checked back and I kind of thought to myself, what was driving those sales? Sure enough, it was the use of those hashtags and putting constant content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and such to drive people to come over to buy our candies. And that cost me nothing. Okay, so I didn't run any ads. It was just a matter of using the right keywords, putting up some hashtags, also some pictures, some URL links, and that type of stuff. So to be honest with you, it wasn't like we did $1 million in chocolate-covered pretzels, but I just did it as an experiment to see how would it work for some of our products if I didn't pay for it. Sure enough, it worked. So long story short, if you've got a site up and running or you have a store on Etsy or eBay and you're selling products and you've got them listed, you can't just sit back and cross your fingers and hope that somebody finds you randomly on those sites. You need to be proactive and you need to take the initiative and you need to promote it. You have to market it just like any product. Before, General Mills or some of these big companies, Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, before they became as big as they were, they didn't just put the stuff out on the shelves and hopefully someone got it. They made commercials. They took ads out in newspapers. They were proactive in marketing. You have to be the same way. Just because your product is online has nothing to do with traffic or potential customers buying your product or service. It doesn't magically happen, okay? Now, let me hop into some other questions. So the answer to that would be, you need to be proactive about marketing and promoting your product, okay? The listing itself on those websites is not going to make you money. You need to be putting it out there. You need to also be sampling it. And I'm going to go over one. Let me scroll down here really quick so I can get to the question, and then I want to finish this answer. Now, the only other thing I would, there's a handful of other things, but the only other thing I would say that would be possibly free or even cost you very little is YouTube influencers. Now, there is a lot of what they call micro influencers, and these are people who have small channels. Specifically, I'm going to talk about YouTube right now. They review food, they review subscription boxes, they review a lot of things. Specifically, the ones that you'd be interested in if you're selling food would obviously be somebody who's interested in food. Now, on YouTube, there's a lot of channels that have been started by these people who review products, and they have a very small following. When I say small following, they have subscriber counts 50,000 to maybe even 60 or 70,000 and less. Okay, a lot of those are still considered small. Now, what you could do is you go through YouTube and find those influencers. You can type in the search box, people who review candy boxes, food unboxing, subscription boxes. These are the types of terms you can type into the YouTube box, search box. When you find them, you go to their channel, and on the back, their About page, there is most of the time an email. It's a business email, and you can contact them directly. You let them know, hey, you know what? My name's Damien. I got a chocolate company. I'm trying to do this and that. I'd love to send you samples. Would you like to review it? We're on a budget. We're kind of just starting. You can be honest with them and say, look, I would love to send you a handful of stuff for free. Would you be willing to do a review? That is a way to get a huge amount of people, a huge amount of 50 or 60,000 people, which is pretty good, exposure, but it's not gigantic. So get those people to see your product, plus you get a free review. Now, most of the time, those types of people who are building up their channel will accept any type of product they can get because they're trying to build up their channel. They don't normally start charging until they get quite a few subscribers. Or in some cases, they'll charge you maybe a couple $100. Now, that is a way to go that you could get it. The reason being that's so great about influencers on YouTube to review your food product is that once the video is up, it's up permanently. It's like a permanent commercial for you. That's pretty amazing. Facebook is great, but then when the ad is over, well, the ad is over. Okay, when you have a YouTube video, it is there. It's permanently there. As their channel grows and people begin to watch their videos over and over, you have exposure again to potential customers. So going the route of having an influencer like on a YouTube channel promote your product by giving a product review is priceless. It's amazing, okay? If you start approaching some of the bigger ones, when they've got 500,000 to 1 million subscribers, they're going to charge you a lot of money. But you got to keep in mind, too, you're getting exposure to like 1 million people who like that specific type of product. If it's a chocolate box, a snack subscription box that you're trying to start, or if it's organic or vegetarian or vegan or something like that, and you want to reach those influencers, type it in. Vegan food box reviewers or vegan reviewers or something to that effect, and you can find those people and you can approach them. That's what they do. So there's a couple different ways that you could do it. There is the most inexpensive, which is free, but you just have to hustle, and you got to build up that following and build up social media. Or if you've got the money, you can pay for it. Those are the only two ways. But keep in mind how much you're investing and how much is that going to be as far as return on your investment. Your ROI has to make sense. If you're going to spend $1,000 to have someone review it and put it in front of 1 million people and you sell $200 worth of product, you just lost $800. It's not going to be beneficial, okay? So those are some great ways to do that. If you've got the money, pay it. If you don't, you can do it yourself. I personally have never paid anybody to do it except for the Facebook ads. I did it during the holidays. I did a Facebook ad that cost me, I think it was around $30 to $35, and it drove $900 in sales for one particular product. That was an experiment that I did because I was trying it with something new. So that worked out really well. Are you always going to get that? No. Maybe you get less, maybe you get more. I can't tell you that for sure, but if you stick with it and you can find those specific groups of people who are interested, that takes a little research, but you can do it and it could pay off big time. So what I'll do is I'll wrap up this video because it's getting about 13 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and check out my computer. I'm going to do a second video that's going to be specifically for the remainder of these Q&A questions. And I'll let you guys go, and I'll see you on the next video.